Hey, welcome to another great episode of the Real Deal Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Courtney Harden. This is a Saturday special edition of the podcast tonight, Saturday night, November 22nd. So before I bring in my guest, let's get it. Hit my music. Let's go. All right, once again, welcome to another great episode of the Real Deal Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Courtney Harden. Glad to be back with a new episode. Again, this is the Saturday evening edition of the Real Deal Podcast, and I got a great guest on the show. It's been a minute, so glad to have him back on. So before I bring him in, you can follow the show on all the podcast platforms, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're on the BS3 Network YouTube channel, BS3 Sports YouTube channel, BS3 Network, BS3TVLive.com, BS3 Network, Roku channel, wherever you consume podcasts, you can find all of our shows there from the BS3 Network. And you can also follow me on all the social media platforms, whether it is Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, also dabbling a little bit of TikTok and Blue Sky as well. So all those platforms there, but mostly active on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So follow at Get the Real Deal on all those platforms as well. All right, let me bring in my guest. He's not a guest at all. I'm a part of his network. Been a part for quite a long time now. I think it was 6 years. I think we're coming up on this on the network. So as I talked about the BS3 network, so let me bring him in. He is the CEO he oversees all this entire network. So CEO of BS3 himself, Ben Sudderth. What's good, man? How you been?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Glad to be here.
Yeah,
glad
man.
to be on this Saturday night, especially on the eve of Eagles Cowboys.
Yes, that's the reason why we had to get you on, man. Eagles Cowboys tomorrow. So get your popcorn ready. It's T.O., the famous T.O., who's played for both franchises before. So we'll get your popcorn ready for this. It's always a matchup with Eagles Cowboys, NFC East matchup. They played earlier in the year. That was a close game. It was a first game of the season, actually. And that was a weird game. Started with Spitgate, Jalen Carter and Dak Prescott, and right. Then it was a delay because of thunderstorms. And that was a crazy.
That was a crazy game to start the season off.
Yeah, yep.
It was super competitive.
It was.
Cowboys were like this close with all the question marks going into the season. So it was a good one.
Yeah, it was a good one. Good way to start Thursday night, the new season, Thursday Night Football on week 1 now. Now we're on week 12 already. So it's going real fast. But welcome back to the show. Like you said, we've been trying to get this going. I said, well, let's do Eagles Cowboys. Let's since they're going to be they're going to be doing battle tomorrow. So glad to have you on. But how's everything going with you and the family and the network and all that too? All those things.
Yeah, man, everything's going good. The network continues to move forward. Adding shows here and there. Family's doing well. Really focusing on my fitness lately, and my health. And I know you do a lot of content on that with CrossFit and and a lot of content creators in that space too. So that's what I've been doing lately. But everybody's doing good.
That's good. And the network is still doing this thing, and still got a lot of content coming out each and every day. And we have all of our all the hosts that are out there putting out content live, shows and at games, and doing all those things too. We're still getting credentials and everything. So you see the BS3 network all over, and almost a lot of sports, whether it's hockey and WNBA and a lot of different things that's happening, women's basketball in general or sports. So it's we got Rival coming up, so hopefully try to get credentials for that's coming here in Philly. So going to be putting in for that, but I still, got the Zoom meetings and all that thing. So yeah, BS3 Network is still thriving. So glad to be a part of the network still.
Yeah, glad to have you. Love the content that you put out every day. You got something new coming out every day almost. So I appreciate your content on the network.
Thank you, man. Yeah, appreciate just having a platform and just continue this to, you said, help you keep this growing, keep it going. Because like you said, I know this was a dream of yours to run a network, and it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
It's good work because
good work.
it's a passion and definitely something that I've been wanting to do. Something that definitely is rewarding as well because you give out people an opportunity really to start a podcast to express themselves, and so I'm glad I'm able to do it.
Yeah, for sure. Yes. And like you said, we got content for a lot of tight topics and things like that, sports and TV and movie reviews and cooking.
Yep.
We talk about real estate shows,
Podcast we're working on.
TV
Yep.
that's working on and in the works.
Yep.
A lot of different things. So it's great to you said they got the forecast that TV movie reviews. I love that show as well. You guys go from a lot of different variety of TV shows and movies and everything too. So
we all like watching TV at some point. We all watch movies, so that's a pretty nice show that we do, and we talk about movies, TV shows, whatever's kind of hot or new and out. And that's Mondays at 8:30 Central.
Yeah, Mondays at 8:30. Except we got shows for everything. As you said, on the network. So check it out, BS3 Network, Roku, and BS3TVLive.com. Find all the content there. It's funny. I had Serena Morales on a couple of days ago, and we were chatting. She said, "You guys got shows almost every day." She said she checked out the website. This was before we started recording. She said,
"Yeah."
She said, "Was I putting out shows every day?" I said, "Not every day." I said, "It seems like it," but I said there'd be a show. I might do 2 in a day, and then I'll take a couple of days and then do another. But I said no. The network itself definitely has we got kind of for everything. So she was checking it out. So it's getting to the And I told her, I said, appreciate it. And we said we interviewed her at Super Bowl 2 years ago. So so it was good to keep in contact with all those that we meet up with and network with, and things like that. So it's always good. And she reached out about Super Bowl, so I think she's trying to get out there and try to get a booth and everything too. So shout out to her, Serena Morales, good friend of the show. So
yeah,
for sure.
definitely. And I think the biggest thing about podcasting, I'm sure you've learned too, it's a huge community. Like we all have known each other for, I don't know, sometimes 10 to 15 years.
Right.
Never actually meeting each other in person, but Raphael Haynes out of Atlanta, Mr. Controversy. We started off on Spreaker together. I mean, this was probably like 2007, 8, I think, when I met him, and then finally meeting him at a Super Bowl a couple of years ago. So, man, it's just a big family. We all have passions and desires to continue to grow our podcast or our network. So it's always good to see those people that you talk to online for years.
Online, and then you said you meet them at one of these events or games or whatever it is that we may be covering, and you said it is a big family, basically, podcast family, and networking, and that's the big part of it, of creators and podcasters and those, and all types of people. Then you said you meet some of these people, and I've had a couple people from who I just interviewed over the last couple of weeks. You're going to Super Bowl, and I say we trying. I said just like you guys are, we trying and everything. Be nice to meet in person if it's possible, but we'll see how that goes and everything too. But that's a good time to network. That's the biggest time to network with people, is that Super Bowl and at these events kind of like that. So Radio Row and things like that. So, but so we'll definitely try. But we'll somehow the BS3 will be representing I'm sure at Super Bowl. We got a lot of people that probably want to go. So, all right, let's get into this Cowboys and Eagles game. As we talked about, the first game of the year was was a crazy game and everything to do with the delay, and it was an hour delay, and then Jalen Carter spitting on Dak Prescott and getting ejected and
Yeah.
everything, and then you had all that, and now these two teams in the NFC East, and the Eagles are running away with it, but it's still Eagles Cowboys. So,
Right.
but what are you most excited about from this game? Cowboys coming off a win on Monday night against the Raiders. They dominated them, so it was
Yeah.
no con. It was over after halftime, so no
Right.
contest there. But Cowboys coming off emotional win, I should say. And but what's your take on of this upcoming game for your Cowboys?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to them. Uh, continuing what they did against the Raiders. Obviously, we know the Raiders is not a good team. I'm not going to sit on here and say the Cowboys are back and they're better than ever because they beat the Raiders, because that's just not true.
Yeah.
But I do think there's some positive things that have happened. Obviously, Quentin Williams,
Mm.
Demario Overshone, who should be coming back. Well, actually, yeah, he played last week. And so there's some key pieces to the defense coming back. So I'm really just seeing how we measure up. That's the part I'm most excited about. I think playing Philly it's unlike any other game. It's always going to be a knockdown, drag out type of game.
Yeah.
It's more than likely going to go to the end. And it's at home, so we lost in Philly the first game of the year, and the fact that it was that close is wild. Really alone by itself. But I think I'm really just looking forward to seeing that back and forth with Dak and Jalen, and just seeing how the defense responds to this upcoming game.
Yeah, you brought up a good point about them trying to get momentum, and Dallas is trying to sustain momentum from that game
Yeah,
against the Raiders, and they've been inconsistent most of the year. And their defense sometimes gets shredded. They play much better at home for
yeah,
sure. Cowboys
yeah,
always play better at home. They seem like they put up huge numbers when they're at home, and for some reason it just seems that. And then even if they get into shootouts, which that's mostly what happens, they seem they play much better at home than they do on the road. I know the last game I think they played at home they lost, but they've been a little inconsistent most of the season and everything too. But now people have been talking about, okay, can they go on a run? I know their schedule is difficult to
yeah.
try to make the playoffs. I'm
Very,
like, okay, it's still early
yeah,
before we can. If they beat the Eagles tomorrow, then it's like, okay, maybe they do have something coming. I know they got Kansas City on Thanksgiving. It's Cowboys. That's Thanksgiving tradition. Them playing, but now they got the Chiefs who are also playing, trying to
right.
get back right as
Yeah.
well. So that's gonna be a dangerous
Be a
game.
rough.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a rough one in these next few games, because then you have Detroit, and Detroit isn't no
yeah,
slouch at
right.
all. Detroit's trying to do what they need to do to in that division. They're at 6-4, and then after that you got the Vikings, which that's I don't count on them necessarily. Got the Chargers, and then you got Commanders and Giants. So really, if they can win one of these next three games,
Yeah,
that'll put them at 5-5. If they win one of those, and then 5-6. So and be honest, I don't really see them winning anything significantly this year. I think this
yeah,
was just Micah getting traded right before the season. You really put your coach and your team in a bad state. So I wasn't necessarily expecting a lot, but I just want to see some strides. I don't want to see them continue to get blown out. I don't want to see the defense continue to get blown up. So it's just one of those where you need to see some progress, because the fan base is is definitely pissed with how everything has gone so far. So I think with the most part, you just need to show some progression. So show that this is going in the right direction.
yeah, and I think that's what it's about too. As you said, they get their schedule is really tough. These next 3-4 games, I think they would have to win. I mean, they got to win. I think what 6 of their last, or at least 5 of their last 7
Yeah,
coming up. They're 4, 5,
yeah,
and 1 now. There's 8 games left, so they probably got to win 6 of their next 8.
yeah.
Not impossible, but man, that's
Yeah,
gonna be
this
tough.
this 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 schedule though is is not friendly.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just not going to be easy.
Right.
And every team is going to be it's going to be a struggle just because your defense has not helped you. You know, the offense has
Right.
been great. I mean, they've been ranked top 10, but it's just the defense has just not been able to make stops. So hopefully with these additions, Quentin Williams game one had 1.5 sacks. So if that's
Right. Right.
any inclination of what we get to see from him, I'm looking forward to him in the rest of the season.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, if they can get past Philly tomorrow, which is always gonna be tough.
Yeah,
And he said Chiefs, and then they got the Lions. You said the next three. They got two Thursday games back to back, Thanksgiving, and then the next December
yeah.
4th against the
Hey,
Lions on the
it's,
road.
it's, it's nothing like the Cowboys that being at the record that they have right now, and they've been getting prime time. They had back-to-back Monday games, which is
Yeah,
rare. I don't even know.
right. That
I
is
don't know
rare.
what other team gets that type of
Not many.
love, even when
No.
being this crappy. I mean, you could like flex. You know, it could have flexed some games in a different way, but hey, that's the power of Jerry. If people deny the power that Jerry has on the
Yeah.
NFL, it's not minor. It's not small.
No, and that's the thing. You said they still are the Cowboys, power Jerry Jones, and because they still bring the rating, they still bring the
Yeah,
the most the
no
most
matter what.
viewership, no matter
Right.
what, no
No
matter
matter how
what.
bad they are,
Right,
people
right.
still gonna go to the games.
Yep,
People
yep,
still gonna watch just
yep.
because it's them.
Yeah, and that Chiefs Cowboys game is really going to. I've been hearing that they think 40 million. I mean, it's still cheap. These are probably the two Chiefs and Cowboys when it comes to viewership are probably the top two teams when it comes to
Yeah,
viewership. And then it's on Thanksgiving at 4:30
right.
in Dallas
Yeah,
with possibly Taylor Swift effect, possibly.
yeah, yeah.
That
Right. True.
same thing,
True.
Chiefs are still the Chiefs. Is bad, they haven't been they haven't been as great as they usually are this season, but it's they talking 40 50 million viewers, so
Yeah.
this could reach that, and I think it will, and especially if it's competitive. Oh man, it's gonna
Right.
really hit.
Right.
They
That's really
talking
gonna do. I mean, if
50
they
million.
can keep that first half
Yeah.
close, I
Yep.
mean, just to give people hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, people and Post Malone's doing the halftime show
Oh,
too. So
see. Yeah. Yeah.
there you go. So like
Eh,
you're gonna watch at least for a couple of reasons.
yeah.
I mean, my prediction probably after the first half is gonna get out of hand because
Hmm.
Mahomes and he's from here, so he could be playing in front of his
Yeah.
his family.
Yep.
And Mahomes shows up in these primetime key games, even though they 5-5. The Chiefs are still the Chiefs, and they
Yeah.
figure out a way to win, similar to your Eagles.
Yeah, try to find a way to win for sure. And then he said, Kansas City, they're playing for something now because they're struggling. So them and the Cowboys
Right.
both are thinking, they can't. Neither one can lose this game. Hopefully, it's not another tie. That you
No,
guys get
please,
another tie, and
please.
that's not going to help. And it
Yeah,
seems like
we definitely need to eliminate
yeah,
ties. I'm if they allowed me to vote, I'm just say do a kickoff like they do
yes,
in
like in
soccer or
soccer.
hockey when you get past overtime.
Yeah, yes,
Do a kickoff, take it from the 10 to the 20 to the
yep.
15. I mean, like because ties don't need to be in football. It's just
No, agreed.
unnecessary.
Yeah, because you can't have it in the playoffs, so don't do it in the.
Right.
And
True.
there's always
You
a
do it in
tie.
the
It
regular
seems,
season.
yeah, it's always one tie. It seems like in regular season each year, it
Yeah.
just seems that way. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, hopefully it's not a tie at all. So, but what do you think of the keys for the Cowboys to stop this Eagles attack? Where we was talking earlier before we started recording, how the Eagles are struggling offensively, especially the last couple of games. But the defense has been lights out. They've shut Green Bay and Detroit, two really good teams, shut them down, and the defense has been holding their own, pressuring the quarterback. Secondary's been playing well, and yeah, they're just they seem like the defenses now have stepped up. They got guys back healthy. They got new additions as well, and so they've holding their own. But I would never count the Eagles' offense out at all. But it's been a struggle. It's been an
Yeah.
inconsistent way. But as you said, they're finding ways to win. But what do you think the Cowboys have to do on both sides of the ball, from offensively and defensively, to beat the Eagles?
Yeah. Yeah, so I've been hearing a lot about the Eagles secondary. Obviously, Quinion Mitchell is good, but they've been talking about Adoree Jackson. So I would say pick whatever the weak side is and go after that. But also, I would say with Lamb and Pickens, that's been probably one of the best, wide receiver tandems. So I think that you need to really get them active. Ferguson is like Dak's, security blanket. So he'll get the ball to them. But I think for the most part, just stretching the field and definitely going at those weak positions, which really the corners, from what I'm understanding, is the only weak spot that y'all have. But I mean, I think also then on the defensive side, we just need the guys that have returned to show up. Quinion Mitchell, if he does, Quinion Williams, excuse me, if he does his thing, Demario Overshown is it's just like a freak athlete. I mean, he's a linebacker, but he's like in a safety body, so he's going to be able to get to the places where he needs to be.
Yeah.
We just need to be able to play sound defense. And we've talked about this in Dallas numerous times. You just got to play enough defense to not make mistakes, no blown assignments. They had problems with communication.
Right.
That was what everybody talked about is communication. They couldn't communication. Then there were missing assignments. You had the bye week. You came out with the Raiders. So make sure you're just on point. Be where you're supposed to be. Allow people to make the plays that they need to make that's best beneficial for the team. Don't try to be superhero and go over here. And because Jalen will burn us, man. He's done it every single time. I mean, if he gets a free lane, it's over. And he could do a slide, and then you could be mad because you didn't even get the chance to tackle him. So,
tackle him, hit him, right?
Yeah,
right.
Man, you just gotta. So yeah, I just hope the defense just plays just better sound football, which was the issues we had up until the bye. And I think if we can just play enough defense to not have blown assignments and not have miscommunication, and if the offense just does what they do, Dak doesn't make any mistakes, you got a chance. I mean, I think it could be as close as week 1.
Yeah, I think so. I agree. I think it's going to be a close game for sure. And you said all those key points about the Eagles and their secondary. That has been. It's still. I mean, it's a strength because of Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, Blankenship. Those guys can make plays, especially Quinion Mitchell. He's hardly ever tested on that side, but when Adoree Jackson's there, he's the one that's been getting burnt sometimes. He does. He plays well. He does play. He does make plays, but he does give up plays, and that's the weak spot. And that can really. The one thing he does well,
target that.
He can target a weakness. He will target that weakness, the play action and target, and he'll pick you apart. Dak can do that, especially home. He's done. He's done it against the Eagles throughout his career, so he for sure can make those type of plays and things like that. We have to pressure him, and it looks like our defensive line is putting it together, getting Jalen Phillips, which been that was a really good pickup from Miami. Miami was just it was like the Jets. It was a wholesale, like here,
right?
State guys,
they're just giving it away,
giving guys up, right. Yeah. So
and to the Eagles of all teams,
of all teams, right? And he's been. I think he's got 2 sacks already in 2 games, I believe, something like that, and pressures, and so the defensive line is finally putting it all together. I mean, Jordan Davis had a monster game last week. Tipping, I think he had 3 tips, and it was pressure. And you said Jalen Carter looks like now as long as he don't spit on anybody. But I think his conditioning is now finally there, and he looks like himself. So that defensive line, Brandon Graham is back. He played a little bit last week, played some snaps. So I think he's just around and in the shape. So the defensive line's got to pressure Dak and get him into uncomfortable situations because if not, he'll pick you apart. He will do that and everything too. So they got to tee off on try to tee off on Dak. But as you said, you guys with the receivers, they can't be on an island. The secondary can't be on an island too long. If not, Dak's gonna pick them apart for sure.
And that's I mean, Pickens is, as much as the issues he has had throughout his career. He's a great athlete and a great wide receiver. Now, his route running is not the greatest, but the guy figures out a way. If you just throw the ball up, and it doesn't even look like he's going to catch it. There was a pass he caught when his feet was when it was in bounds, but his arm and his hand was already out of bounds. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's just amazing to see those two on the field. As much as we can, I hope we take advantage of it. But the way the season's gone so far, you may end up not being able to keep him. But it'll be exciting for this remaining part of the season. But I wanted to ask you real quick, talk about the offensive line. I've been hearing a lot of with Lane Johnson being out and
Yeah.
some of the issues on the line.
Yeah, the line has been inconsistent, and almost the last every lot of times over the years, that was their strength. It's
Yeah,
they just haven't had everybody healthy at the same time.
right.
Last year they had pretty good health, and this
Yeah,
year, and that's what's been struggling. I think that's part of the running game, and that's part of I think the offensive struggles too, is not having that cohesiveness on the offensive line and having guys out. Lane Johnson in and out of the line, in and out of line, in and out of lineup. So that's been a big part of some of the struggles, and they're not opening up lanes for Saquon to break loose. There's been glimpses of he's been getting a few yards here, and you're thinking, oh man, he's gonna get one. He's gonna
finally
get
go
one.
break one.
He's gonna
Yeah,
break one, and he did in I think it was against Minnesota, I believe. He had against the Giants. It was against the Giants a couple weeks ago. He finally got a long run. That was his first run. I think it was one of his first runs over 20 yards or something like that all season.
yeah,
He had a bunch of them last year, but the offensive line just hasn't been. They haven't been consistent, and they're struggling with all the injuries and keys of that. So if they can just get healthy, I think that's part of it. And that hasn't. I mean, Jalen, he's getting sacked a little, but they have protected better than they've done before. But it's not open lanes even for Jalen to run either. And that's part of his game
right.
is running. When
Major
he's
part of his game.
yeah, right. And when he's running freely and everything, it opens up everything. And then when Saquon's running freely, opens up everything. So they can't even get play action going. And then some of it's off is some of the offensive play calls as well. Kevin Petula, I mean, the people are going for his head, and we've seen this movie with the offensive coordinators, and
Right, right.
and he's like, man, we got the running backs, we got the running back, we got the receivers. Like, why is the offense struggling so much? And I think it starts with the line, and the offensive
Yeah,
scheme is basic. It sometimes can be basic. So yeah, it's
yeah. And I think people just overlook the importance of the offensive line, not just the
yes,
offensive line, but them playing together. Because
right.
you gotta communicate. It's like
Mhm.
I just said with the Cowboys, the defense has issues because one of them wants to go off and do something, and you're not communicating with the other,
Right.
with the safety, and then the safety's in the wrong spot, and then it's a it's a 40-yard pass. So similar to what happens on the offensive line, you're not playing with these guys, or you got to plug in and plug out players. And so I think if they, just like anything, if they can get into a groove, I think it'll definitely make a difference for you guys.
Yeah, and yeah, they have to try to they got to figure this out, and they just got to they got to get both. They got to get the running game. The running game opens up the pass for the Eagles from
Right.
what they did last season, and again, it starts when they said it starts with the offensive line. It definitely starts there, and Hurts has had his issue. He's had issues this year. Not being able to not be able to run for one. And there's just been times where he's missing open receivers in some ways and just throws. But interesting enough, he's only got one interception. He got 16 touchdowns. So with all the struggles, so
Right.
some
True.
per se, he's
Yeah.
still not. And he's not turning the ball over. I think he does play. He does play sometimes conservative, and he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to. Doesn't want to turn the ball over. I think they got two. I think he's got two. I think they got 4 turnovers as a team total. I think he's got 2 fumbles and 1 pick. So he's protecting the football, and that's keeping them winning in some
Yeah.
ways. So I'm not going to complain too much because of that, because they're 8-2.
Yeah. Now, if they go on a 4 or 5 game losing streak,
Right.
that's another story. I mean, because you can, how media is. If you're winning, and your numbers aren't that great, then I could give you as much hell. But if your numbers aren't that great and you're losing, then everybody's coming after you. So
Yeah, right.
yeah,
And then they got room to improve. I mean, they can they can turn it up. They can turn it around. Like you said, they're too good offense. They got too many good offensive
Yeah, they got too many
weapons.
weapons. Yeah.
Yeah, too many good offensive weapons, and there's been glimpses of what they are capable of. We got AJ Brown, Devontae Smith on the on your two receivers. Two of the best receivers. We've seen what they can do. They've done it in halves. They've done it against the Rams
Yeah.
in one half. They
Right.
they finally put the game together against the Giants. They put the game together against Minnesota. But I think it just all depends on how the offensive scheme. If they can just continue to keep putting Jalen Hurts in good situations, and that running game opens up, that will open up the pass. So I'm not
Yeah.
too worried about that. But they got to still be able to protect and run block for everything to start clicking. So, and hopefully AJ Brown, he's not as miserable as he seems, But
Yeah.
I like I said, I get why he's upset because he don't feel like he's contributing and they're not giving him the ball or anything like that. But there's been some times too, it just seems like he's not running hard in some ways, and it's almost like he's just out there. But they gotta find ways. He got a lot of targets last week, but they just gotta find ways to keep him, keep him in the game and keep him engaged. But I like that Devontae Smith on the other side of that. He gets open too, and
Yeah.
he's a deep threat. He
Right.
is definitely a
Right.
deep threat.
Right.
So
True. And I
yeah,
think with wide receivers,
yeah,
most of them are the same. They
yeah,
want the ball. If they don't get the
yep,
ball, it's gonna be some type of issue.
yep,
Even if they're winning, it's still gonna be an issue. But if he gets a touchdown, that kind of all is forgotten.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think his disappointment and his frustration is warranted, but
Very Warner, yeah, agreed.
I think it'll all come together.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to come together. And at the end of the day, Jalen he's the captain, is a leader. He always keeps a even keel. It's like,
Right.
hey,
Right.
we'll figure this out. We win together and we lose together. He said we just, they did this last season too, where
Yep.
they struggled out the gate and
Yep.
they got that bye. They went on that run. They lean on the run game. Like I said, if Saquon can get it, if Saquon gets it going, that opens up so much more on the outside. So, but
True.
Goddard's having a really good year for
Yeah.
sure. He's been
Yeah.
the one constant key piece. So when Jalen's like needs to be bailed out, he goes right to Goddard, and Goddard,
Yep. Yeah,
he's been
that tight end is one of the best
yeah.
positions in football, just
Mm-hmm.
because they're available most times. So you can look
Yeah.
at them and they're open. And yeah, he's got the most touchdowns on the team with 7.
Yeah. So they look for him when they get in that red zone. They look for Dallas Goddard for
Yeah,
sure. He's sure-handed, and he's the guy that and John Dawson. He's been catching. I mean, he don't have a lot of catches, but he makes play. He's been making plays when he gets the opportunity, like deep
yeah,
threat
yeah,
and everything too. So I think Jalen, he loves to spread it around and get everybody going. I mean, he just takes what the defense gives him. It
yeah.
just seems that way.
He's a smart player.
Yes.
Again, not trying to make mistakes, because mistakes can result in losses. And
Yes.
you got a key fumble, you got a key interception in a key moment of the game,
Yep.
and it could all go south quickly.
Yes, yes, we seen that in 2023 when they were winning despite not playing well, and then something went on. I don't know. I still can't even answer that
Yeah,
collapse. That was something was not clicking, and then there was a lot of changes and in
yeah,
mid-season, and that was a debacle. I don't see it that way because even though they're not playing well, like that season, that the defense was terrible, was really
yeah,
bad. Defense is really good this season, this time around. So I don't see
yeah.
that type of collapse. But yeah, it's the NFL. You just never know what
Right,
can happen.
right. And the city of Philadelphia was looking at getting rid of
Yeah, Sirianni
Sirianni
during
that
that
year.
time. Yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah. So I mean,
yeah,
now Fangio is great to have as a DC.
yes,
He
yes.
knows what he's doing. Been doing it for years. It seemed like that offensive coordinator spot. Y'all just kind of get a little bit of a carousel going on,
Yeah,
and obviously it's because guys end up getting jobs.
right.
So you got to figure out, got to get somebody in there. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Jalen's had what 8 coordinators in the last like
wow,
7 coordinators like last 6 years. So it's
that's
always an evolving thing. That's and
yeah,
that's part of it. I think that's part of it. They're trying to implement their offense to his skill set, and it could be a struggle, and it looks like it. Some of this basic is just some of it's just basic offense that they're running, their scheme and
Yeah,
everything too. But that report that came, I know you saw that report about the locker room is turning on Jalen,
yeah, I heard about that.
and and they said it, I mean, the only thing is like the 2.0. They said it was Carson Wentz 2.0 and
Nah,
everything.
man,
And
don't do that.
yeah, it's like
Don't
come
do
on,
that to my
man.
boy, man.
Right, right,
I'm not an Eagles fan, but don't do that to Jalen
right.
like that.
This is a
Him and
Super Bowl
Carson Wentz
MVP.
not even the same
No, and this
in
is
the
Super Bowl
same book.
MVP.
Right.
Right, Super Bowl MVP. Then now, Wentz, the year they won their first Super Bowl, Wentz was having an MVP year.
Yeah.
They were 11-2 before he got injured. Nick Foles came in
Yeah.
and took over and dominated. Um, but to say, locker room issues and Carson want to do his own thing and that's like that report felt like the whole Carson Wentz thing, and Carson was denying it, and then came out. But I don't think Jalen's that way at all,
No.
And like he said,
I don't see him like that.
no,
I think it's almost becoming like a Russell Wilson situation. Towards the end, they were like Russell wasn't he wasn't cool with the people in the locker room, which
yeah,
Russell's corny. So I mean, I think when you look
yeah,
at the
yeah,
when you look at the
yeah,
locker room, a lot of those dudes, you look at you look at beast mode and you look at
yeah,
some of those
Richard
guys in the
Sherman,
locker
yeah,
room.
yeah,
I don't think they related to him. I don't think it was a
no,
issue. And I think in this situation, I just think they're just trying to find something, to because the reporters are not always on the best side of the team, even though they
no,
cover them, even though they beat reporters, they're looking for stories.
yes,
And what better way to stir up something is, to get a story like that. And so
mhm.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, and they know, and like you said, they know the whole thing with Jalen said, "Yeah, we're struggling. Offensively, we're struggling. We're just finding." But Nick Sirianni said, "We're finding ways to win." And the Eagles sometimes it looks ugly.
Yeah, yeah. It
It
may
just
not look
looks,
good.
yeah, it might not look good. Again, they've beaten all the best teams. They've beaten the teams. They've beaten Dallas. They've beaten Kansas City. They beat Green Bay. They beat Detroit, Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
So they beat these teams that are supposedly the better teams, and they just find ways. Minnesota, they find ways to win.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's they got two bad losses. The loss to Denver, that was a struggle. And they still had a chance to win. And then the Giants just came in, they just whipped us. And
yeah,
that day, yeah, that was just one of those games.
yeah,
They just played. The Eagles just they didn't play their game, and they got
yeah,
ran over by
yeah.
the Giants.
You just didn't play well.
Yeah.
And it's gonna happen. It's the NFL. Like we
Yep.
just think, oh, it's the Giants. The Giants don't have a chance.
Right. Right.
And Denver, what was that? That was week 5. Denver's
Right.
9-2. So Denver's
Right.
really a team
Yes.
that is good. I mean, they only lost the first two. Well, they lost the second and third game, and they've been on a winning streak like
Yeah.
crazy. So that was a legit team that you lost to. Now the Giants, it's another story, but
Right.
it's an in division game, and those things happen. So
Yep.
to
They
have
always
two
happen.
losses at this point in the season is an accomplishment
Yeah,
that
for sure.
not majority of the teams don't have it. So I think you gotta take it for what it is.
Yeah, yeah. Take your wins and if you like I say if you beat your divisional games, you win your divisional games, and like I said, it was just at that time Denver was it was a bad game, and I think they lost. They didn't lose by much in that game, and then they got beat by the Giants. But we came back and they came here and the Eagles took care of business against the Giants, so it was finished them off. So yeah, it's gonna. So I'm looking forward to this game, and like I said, it's always a good NFC East matchup, and we'll see
Yeah.
what happens tomorrow. So looking forward to that game at 4:30 Eastern time, 1:30 Pacific. So everyone tune into the NFC East matchup for the Eagles and Cowboys. All right, we want to be talking a little Dallas Mavericks and everything too. They struggling a little bit here.
Yeah.
Nico Harrison gets fired in the season. We talked about that. I think the last time we were like, I don't wish anybody losing their job, but I mean, when you make those type of moves, you did,
Yeah.
and then you struggle. I mean, you got Cooper Flag. And they want to build around Cooper Flag. and everything too. I think that's the idea
Yeah, yeah,
with and everything too. Now Anthony Davis reports that they wanted him to come back, and a lot of things was happening. So, but what was your take on Nico Harrison getting fired first and foremost, and then talk about the Dallas Mavericks their start of the first month of the season.
yeah. I think with Nico, it was going to happen really
Yeah.
sooner or later. I
Mm,
just think it happened now because the team is struggling, and his plan, as of right now, has pretty much failed. Now you don't have Kyrie, so that Kyrie would have been a big part of the picture. You were
yes.
expecting Clay to be somewhat of old Clay, but
Yeah.
I mean, Clay's done at this point. He's not even a 6 man of the year type player.
No.
And so I think your plan was great when you said it, but it just did not work out. And I think the minute that the fans became really turned on the team and
Yep.
the fire Nico chance happened, I didn't think they were going to do it then, just because that would be, I think that would what maybe wouldn't have been fair because you allowed him to make the trade. But
Yep.
just the way everything's been handled from the top of the organization really to the bottom, it just has not been handled well. And somebody's got to take the blame. The owner's not going to fire himself. So obviously you're going to fire the GM. Jason Kidd has done everything he possibly could
Yeah.
to with injuries, with his star player being traded. And I don't think he agreed with it. I think they came to him and said, "Hey, this is what we're going to do." I don't know if he said yes or no. I mean, we'll probably never know. But I think it's just did not work out, and injuries have made it worse. And now, yeah, it's pretty much Cooper Flag. We all know Anthony Davis. So just the fact that you traded for a guy who rarely plays
Yeah.
half of the games in a season, to me,
Right.
that was just one of the dumbest trades ever made. So it needed to happen. It's kind of like peeling that Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
The scab and the wound's already there, but you just got to peel it off, and you're gonna have to really gonna have to start over. If you're building around Cooper, you're starting over from scratch after having a generational player in Luka.
Yeah. And then yes, and I agree. I think it's when those like I said, I don't wish anybody to get fired, even if we think in sports, coaches and players cut and all these things. I mean,
Right.
that's these guys, these people's livelihoods and
Yeah.
things like
True.
that. But Nico Harrison, he went in and thinking, you know, the things like I said, the fire Nico. Now the death threats and all that.
Yeah.
That's
That's
too
too
much.
far.
Yeah, that's
That's
way
too
too
far.
far. It was way
Yeah.
too far. It's one thing to be a fan and you didn't like what he did to the organization and trading that generational talent, Luca, and you got to fire Nico. I mean, for the whole the whole stadium saying that can't make you feel good, man.
No, man.
You
And
know, at
he
all.
and he was sitting there for
Yeah,
quite a bit of those games. Now he
right.
went into hiding.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
obviously, he had his reasons, probably some of the death threats, and I think they told him like, look, this is just not a good look. You need to stay away. But he had to have the whole arena. And not only that, they had at hockey games, at the Dallas Stars games, they were trying chanting fire Nico. At an SMU basketball game, they were
That's
chanting fire
crazy.
Nico. At the Cowboys game, they were chanting fire Nico. So
Oh my goodness.
this was not just a Mavs thing. This was
Mm,
a Metroplex, a Dallas Metroplex thing that people just you can't agree with this. This is like
yeah.
trading Jordan in his prime to the Knicks. I mean,
Right.
like for Mark Jackson. I mean,
Yeah.
like this is
Yeah.
not this is
Yeah.
doesn't
yeah.
even it just didn't make sense. And the way it all so now some of the stories coming out. So pretty much
Yeah.
Nico seemed to be in the owner's ear because when the team was sold, Cuban now just has a minority stake in the team. So
Yeah.
he's not the spokesperson, he's not the voice. So I don't even know if they came to him. So the story is now that Nico was just in the ear of the owner, like, look, we can just believe in me. I
Yeah.
made these trades. I got Kyrie, I got Gafford and PJ Washington and Lively and all these things happen. So just let me do this and then we'll go from there. And ownership is a large part to blame because I just don't think they fully understood who Luca was, number
Yeah.
one, and number
Right.
two, the impact that it would have on the team and the city if you trade Luka. And it was just like in the middle of the night. I don't remember the exact date, but I think it was going into a Sunday. It was like Saturday night.
Yeah,
And you
yeah. It was
wake
like
up
3 in the
Sunday and you
morning.
getting
Yeah,
all these
yes.
alerts, and you're like, ain't no way they traded Luka for
To the
Anthony.
Lakers too, of all
To the
teams, right?
all teams, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was that. Yeah, that whole thing was crazy. Waking up in that morning, and I think my wife she's like, wait, look, if Dante got traded. I'm waking up. I'm like, what?
Nah, ain't no way.
Ain't no way. And let
Ain't no
me hold
way
on.
they could do that.
Let me look.
Just
Let me look. Yeah,
the way that they did it.
Even Shams was like, Sarani was like, wait, this can't be true. He thought his phone got hacked. He thought his Twitter handle got
Yeah,
hacked and everything.
yeah,
And
man.
he's on like CNN and everywhere else. Not even just ESPN. It was like every hour he was somewhere talking about this
Right,
trade, and
right,
it was
right.
like, wow,
And then Anthony Davis kind of getting the brunt of it. I mean, it's not his
yeah,
fault that he got
right,
traded.
right.
It's not his fault that he's injury prone. Like
No,
we've all known this. Like
yeah,
anybody
we
that's
know
watched
this.
basketball for the past
Yeah,
10 years? How long has he been in the league? Since 2012. For the
yeah,
past 10 years, you know this dude's track record. When he plays,
yes,
he's amazing.
yep.
He can play on both
Top 10
ends.
player, yeah, when
Yeah,
when
top
he's
10
healthy.
player
Yeah.
when he's healthy. But it's rare that he's healthy. And Luka's
Mm,
played with bad knees, bad ankles, arms, shoulders, all types of issues.
yes.
And just because I get it, I mean, he wanted a beer every once in a while. His off season, he wasn't in the gym like Kobe and all of that. But when it came down to it, and they went to the finals, I truly didn't believe they really had a shot because that Celtics team was too stacked. But
Yeah.
if things were going well, they were really just one guy away from kind of being back to that same place. You just needed one other guy
Yep.
to be able to help you. So if it was getting AD on the team with Luka, everybody would have understood that. But you
Yes.
doing an even swap, like you didn't get any picks, you didn't. There was nothing added. You just did a straight up even swap. That just made it worse.
Yeah.
And I think Nico just thought I'm smarter than everybody else. Like this is gonna work out because I made it and I said it's gonna work out, and it
Yep.
just flat out didn't work out.
Flat didn't work out. And then, like you said, now reports are coming out, as you said, with Nico being in the owner's ears and talking about making reports saying, now Kyrie's coming back from ACL, he should be back. I think what he was trying to do, as you said, he was, the arrogancy that he had, being very arrogant,
Yeah,
thinking he was smarter than everyone else. And it backfired, but he wanted those guys to push it to because he was, I mean, he was going for his, I mean, he was trying to save his job, like, oh my goodness, because even he said himself all like he was just didn't know what was going on. I didn't know how
yeah.
much backlash it was going to be trading Luca. I'm like,
Like
Luca
really,
was like, really, like, why would
Luca
you admit that?
is Dirk. I mean,
Yeah, right, yeah, he would have been,
if he would
yeah,
have stayed there, he would have got a
yes,
statue next to Dirk's. If
yes,
they would have won
yes,
a championship or not, this city
yeah,
just absolutely loved Luca. He had a
right,
whole where he's from in Sylvania. They was watching the game. They had a whole fan base. The Mavs had a whole
yeah,
fan base in Sylvania.
right,
That's just like international, a free international fan base that you just threw away. And
yes,
now, you got Cooper Flag, who's 18 years old, and you're expecting him to immediately come in and
right.
make that big of an impact. And I just don't. It's not going to happen that quick.
Yeah. Yeah. And when the team, the way it's constructed, they're trying to build around him now. And they got talent, like you said. It's just like I said, Cooper Flag's only 18 years old. I mean, yes, can he be a generational talent? They're definitely hyping him
They're
as that,
banking on it. And
banking
now
on
if
that.
that doesn't work out either, then you're
Yeah.
really screwed.
Yeah, you really
Yeah,
screwed. So Nico, like he's pushing like Kyrie to come back, and then there was reports with AD last season. I mean, like you said, got hurt the first game. First game, he just came off an injury. Got hurt the first game.
yeah.
He was
Had a
traded the
hell of a
first
game
half.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was. I think it was one half, or at least
right.
or three
Yeah,
quarters, and then got injured, and then was out
right,
for 6 weeks. So
right.
4 to 6 weeks. So it's just it was just all bad. So yeah, it
Yeah.
was just like I said, pull that Band-Aid off now, and and everything. Now
Just
Nico will go
build.
probably in
And,
hiding.
and you're expecting, I mean, let's just be real here. You're expecting Kyrie, who is now at the age of 33.
Yes.
You're in 33 and maybe young in regular years, but in basketball years,
No.
that's old as hell. He's
Yeah.
what is 2011? He'll be at his, what is this? This is his
14th season,
14th
right?
season.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
coming off
like
ACL. And off
coming off of
ACL.
AC, at some point, his body is going to continue to deteriorate. I mean, he can only do so much. He's almost at the CP3 level where CP3 was still good, but was he, scoring 20 and 10 a night? Not necessarily. So I think there's just a lot. There's a lot riding on health. There's a lot riding on things going right. And the history just shows you that if something goes wrong, it's going to go wrong. So, it's still early in the season. I think they can still figure some things out. But I just think this was just the wrong way to go about it. And really, if you wanted to make a deal for him, you would have done it during the off season. That would have been the perfect time to do it.
Absolutely.
Perfect time to do it also would have been during the during the draft if you want to do it then. But it just seems like he just had to pull the trigger. He just had to make that trade.
Yep.
And LA is happy. So congratulations to them. You got a generational talent with an aging talent who's kind of on his way out.
Yeah, and the Lakers are, and they this is their type of moves. They're all about the superstar, and now he said LeBron on his way out, and you get Luka now. In shape Luka, motivated Luka. Skinny Luka as they calling him now.
Right.
And, so it's just one. It's just they always the Lakers always get. From way back when they had Kareem and Magic and Wilt they had and Jerry West, they got Shaq and Kobe, and so they know how to get. Now LeBron is just they continue to say, okay, LeBron's might not play another year, 2 years. Now we got Luka in his prime, and playing very well right now. But yeah, Dallas. As like I said, still early. They just now Cooper Flag. They just got to now just kind of build around him, see what he can do. And Anthony Davis was talking about making a trade now to trade him. He's gonna be hard to move because of that contract is huge. I mean, not impossible, but I was just reading that he said to make next 3 years 54 million, 58 million, 62 million next 3 seasons. That is like, man.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. He's getting paid. That's what.
And the guy that did all this is now gone.
It's gone.
He got fired.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, it's like you gotta clean this up. You got a mess to clean up. And now Cuban is more involved. And he's saying we're gonna keep Anthony Davis. So I'm like, is this at this point? This is just a ploy to get his stock up, because I mean you're gonna have to move him. I just don't think you can win. With this team, the way it's constructed. And the team was built around Luka. When they got PJ, when they got Gafford, when they got Lively, it was built around Luka. And now you're building around Cooper Flag that you really don't know what his game is going to be. And they got him playing point guard at some nights. You got him playing at the 3 some nights. I mean, it's like what is the ultimate plan? And I just think they don't know. That's the worst part about it. They don't really know what the plan is, because it's just been so scrambled and disorganized. This is where they are.
Yeah, J Kidd, he's doing it, like I say, he's doing all he can. I mean, I don't blame him at all, because you said he had a veteran team with Luka and Kyrie, and he relied on that. And he said the Klay Thompson thing just hasn't worked out. He looks disinterested and struggling. He hasn't been the same though since those injuries. And he said the Kyrie injury and the Anthony Davis injury, and the mix is just not. It's just not a good mix with Cooper Flag. And now D'Angelo Russell, I think he's out now with injury as well. Well, we know what you get with D'Lo anyway. You're gonna get a couple good weeks with him. And
you can get 20 in a couple nights, and then you're gonna get 4.
Yeah, 4.
So, I mean, and that was another Nico move.
Yes. Yep.
So
Yep.
the after effects of Nico will never end. It
It
seems like.
never end. Yeah. So as of now, they're 5-12, right? Close to the bottom. I mean, there's some bad teams in the
Yeah,
NBA, man. Like there's just
yeah,
I'm looking at the Washington 1-14, Indiana 2-14, Brooklyn 3-12, Charlotte three and
yeah.
12. Oh
It's
my
the, the,
goodness,
the
it's
basement
bad.
down there. The Pelicans
Sacramento
2-14.
2-14. Oh my goodness, they're gonna have a fire
Yeah.
sale soon. And
And
then
then you look at the
Sacramento, they
Pacers from last year to this year,
yeah,
really losing one player. I
yeah.
mean, obviously that's your guy, but
Yeah.
losing him, like this team is just not even recognizable.
No, not at all. And then losing Miles Turner as well
Oh,
to
right, true,
Milwaukee. Yeah,
true.
that was a big part too.
Yeah, that
So
was a big part of that
yeah,
team. Yeah,
championship team now that at the bottom winning 2 games. And it just seems like when you get that you start losing like that at the beginning of the season, it's almost already over for some.
right. Really,
Yeah,
yeah, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to recover from that. I mean, bearing
Yeah.
any type of trade or miraculous return from Halliburton, which is not gonna happen because his injury was in the finals. So
Yeah, yeah. And he
yeah,
tore an Achilles.
yeah,
So yeah.
you're gonna have to just call this season
A
a
wash.
wrap.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, just they're done. So, just one more on the NBA, and I'll let you go. When you
yeah,
think of all uh the networks now, you can get NBA everywhere now. Amazon Prime,
really, yeah,
NBC,
yeah,
and all it's been Peacock. And also, you still got ESPN. You got NBA TV, and so what do you think of all the access? What do you think of Amazon and NBC and Peacock, what they're doing with the NBA?
yeah. I love it. I love the diversity. I think we need it. I
Yeah,
think that gives other commentators opportunity. Plus, I mean, ESPN they just getting lazy with their whole
yeah,
with the whole approach. I mean, they obviously they're not doing Stephen A. I was reading that
yeah.
he's not going to be on the call
Yeah, he
anymore.
stepped
But
down. Yeah, he stepped
yeah,
down. Supposedly, some
but
people said demotion. He came out and said no, it was part of my contract. I think it was a little bit of both on that part, but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But I think you need some availability. You need some flexibility. And I think having NBA on NBC is so nostalgic.
oh,
Uh,
nostalgic, man.
Having the
Yes.
sit downs with
Mhm.
Jordan, I was like, I don't know how they got him. Now, obviously, he's not coming to the arena. He's not going to be
Right.
going anywhere. They've been having these in home, type
Him and Mike
interviews.
Tirico for like an hour. They probably done like 2 hours of just talking. They're just clipping them 15 minutes each.
Yeah, probably. But it's just, I mean, it's nice to see. I
Yeah.
think you definitely need it. Seeing Melo there,
Yes.
um,
Vince Carter, T Mac. Yep.
Tarico is just a machine, man. Doing
Yeah.
NFL,
Yes.
Olympics, um, NBA. I don't know if he's done Major League Baseball. I'm sure he probably has at some point.
I'm sure. I
But
think
I mean, the
so.
guy is just a professional at what he does.
Yep.
I love it. So I love seeing that. I love Amazon getting in the mix. I
Yes.
mean, Amazon is really making their imprint on sports. Obviously, they already got the NFL. They got the NBA now. I think they're gonna try to make a run at Major League Baseball. And Major League Baseball just did it with Netflix. I think it's somebody else, but
Yeah, I think ESPN did. I think they just signed a 3-year deal with ESPN as well. So,
yeah,
yeah, I think Netflix did jump in, I believe too. But yeah, so yeah, there's a lot going on with Major League Baseball. The season they had too, they finally, that was a good season this year for baseball and just in
yeah.
general.
But I love it. I mean, I love for people to
Yeah,
have options. At this
yeah,
point,
yep,
you have a world where streaming rules. Like most people don't have cable. They're not paying a upwards of $200 cable bill to have all these channels. When you
mm,
can just get Peacock for $12, you can get Amazon for $10 if you just get the Prime Video. So I mean, you'll be spending less than $100, and it's good. It's just great. I think it's great. I think it's great to have options, different voices. ESPN has had their foot and their stronghold on it for so long. ESPN/ABC, and then TNT. But now you broaden out the reach. So I love it.
Yeah, me too. I've been loving it, man. The NBC, as you said, nostalgia, bringing back Bob Costas, Marv Albert.
Yeah, yeah,
They brought him back, and I know that that's gonna wear off soon, but, because you can't keep bringing in those guys. I mean, now you got to
yeah.
try to
That's
get
just the initial, I
initial,
think, to get
yeah,
people in. Yeah,
yeah, because now I think my Hamar Rashad and Hannah Storm, they bring them in just to do, just to keep that nostalgic going. And he said Michael
yeah,
Jordan.
yeah,
I didn't know what they said, special contributor. I figured
yeah.
he
I'm
was
like,
gonna do
what?
something.
There's
What is
no
this?
way he's
He's
gonna
not
be
gonna
in
be
the.
in a
Yeah.
studio
No way
or
he's
in the
gonna be in
booth.
the booth.
Yeah,
Nah,
yeah.
Jordan was like, nah, man, y'all can
Nah,
come to me.
might come to my house
Yeah,
and
we
everything
can do the
too.
last dance type
Right,
thing.
right, right. And he talked about load management and but when Michael Jordan just those 10, 15 minutes, it's gonna be a clip. It's gonna be something because
Yeah,
it's Michael Jordan. He doesn't speak,
yeah,
doesn't talk, he
right.
doesn't come out of hiding. He's just
Nah,
usually just I think he will be in the studio a couple of times. I don't know when. He might do like a because I would love to hear him talk about, oh, how's
what
OKC
happened on this
doing?
play?
Yeah,
I
whatever.
would, I
Yeah.
would love for him to do a Tom Brady,
Yes.
like
Yes.
Kobe started doing that, like
Yes.
Peyton Manning, even
Uh,
doing
yeah,
a alternate
yeah, like a
uh
Manning cast type
Manning
thing. Yeah.
cast type thing. I
Yes.
would love for him to do that.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. If he can, even if he gets in the studio with Mello and those guys, uh, that would be really good. If he, I think he is going to do that. I think he might do it for the Christmas games, possibly,
Yeah,
and he might do it once in the playoffs. But Michael Jordan ain't leaving his house,
nah,
not too much or anything like that. But
nah. It would have to be in his city wherever he is at that time
yeah,
for
yeah.
him to just happen to pop up.
Right, right,
Yeah,
yeah, but just even having, like I said, an hour, and they just clipping those. They just had those clips. I mean, he's talking about back in the day, but I love him talk about the current NBA, like what's
yeah,
going on with with LeBron and the Lakers, and just his opinion. Because when he speaks, people are going to listen. So it's
right,
yeah.
right.
So, but I
Yep.
love what they're doing as well. Maria Taylor killing it again as a host
Yeah, man.
as
She's her
well.
own.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's her own version of Tarico, man.
yeah,
Doing
yeah,
all the sports that she's doing.
yeah. Olympics and
Amazing athlete in her own
NFL.
right.
Yep.
People,
Yeah.
people don't
Mhm.
give her a lot of respect for her, but
Yeah, she's doing well, doing really good, and I love seeing that. And but yeah, so it is interesting to that NBC. I'm glad. And you said options. Just I think that was just people were complaining about it. I'm like, you can just find it. Like you can find NBA almost every day. And I'm glad
right.
that they're going back to talking about basketball, analyzing it because ESPN, like you said, they were getting too much, and it was too Stephen A. Smith forward.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
you
he
know,
was. It was just because they paid him.
yeah,
I mean, I think because they paid him so much, they just had to put him everywhere. He was doing like UFC. I'm like, this
yeah,
dude knows
yeah.
nothing about the UFC. Let's
No.
like stop with this matchup.
Right, right, right. And then him at the NBA, I think people was just getting tired because he was starting to make it about him, and
Yeah,
and then it just seemed like they were trying to make their coverage like first take, and that's what it
right,
was. It was him and
right,
first take with Kendrick Perkins.
right.
So it just
They
got too
just
much.
they got lazy and
Yeah,
I think they
yeah.
got complacent and now you got
Other
other
options.
networks,
Yep.
that are able to do it. I
Mhm.
mean, and it may not have. I mean, well, hell, it probably got more money
Yeah.
than ESPN does with the guys that
Amazon,
they're currently
especially.
paying. I
Hmm.
mean, I don't. It's good to have options. You don't just go to one place every
Yep.
single day or Friday or whatever. But you got games on different platforms. It's the future now.
Yeah.
ESPN, their streaming game is losing right now because you can go to Peacock for $10, $12 at the most. Go to Amazon for $15,
Yeah.
and you get the Prime,
And you get the
with the
Prime,
next
the Amazon with
2 days. You know what I mean?
yes,
So
yes. Yep.
it's a benefit.
Yeah, yeah. And Amazon, like say Amazon Prime getting into, I mean, they already got the NFL, they got the NBA. So and they're gonna probably have a lot more variety of sports. And they're
Oh
doing
yeah,
well
it's coming.
too.
Yeah, and Netflix is coming too. I mean, they've
Netflix,
been doing
yeah.
the NFL game. I think what is it, Christmas
Yep,
or
Christmas Day, yep.
yeah, they're doing that. They're doing the boxing. They're doing Major League Baseball just signed a deal. So like, just going to a channel on your remote is dead. It's over
Yeah.
with now.
Yeah, yes, it is. It is. Yeah, I like I said, I love the Amazon. Taylor Rooks is over there. I like the segments they're doing. With Udonis Haslam and Dirk and Steve Nash, and
Yeah,
these guys are
yeah,
just they're talking about basketball, like
right,
they're analyzing basketball. He said
right.
ESPN got
And
lazy.
they got the skins on the wall to be able to talk about it. You got one
Yeah,
of the arguably the best or one of the best power forwards in
yeah,
Dirk, who's I mean, I would say just one of the most humble guys to
yep,
ever play, but he's done it for so long. He's seen everything.
yeah,
So him talking about it compared to a basketball coach talking about it or a guy that's just a broadcaster talking about it is not the same thing. And I
not the
think
same
that's
thing.
the difference between what all these other networks are doing now.
Yeah, you got Hall of Famers all across both those networks, talking about and champions Hall of Famers, talking
Yeah,
about basketball, and you say you got great host. It's and the broadcast has been good too, great. So it's been a good start of the NBA season, as well. Like you said, options. You just got a lot of different options. You don't have to go to ESPN, and you still got Kenny Shack and Ernie
yeah,
and Charles on ESPN. I
right,
know they haven't done too much. I know they're going to be more full time with their coverage after by Christmas and
yeah,
everything too. So if you don't want to watch the ESPN their regular program with it, you go right to them,
yeah,
inside the
yeah.
NBA. So I
So
mean that's
you're,
the yeah.
your pregame, postgame, in-game content. I mean,
Yep.
it's everywhere now. So
Yeah. Yeah.
you got a lot to choose from as
Yep.
far as who you want to watch.
Yeah, definitely, man, for sure. Well, Ben, man, it's been a pleasure having you back on. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely,
The
man.
the time, man. I know you before you said you missed doing this, and everything, talking sports and everything. You ever had a want to do that again? If you can find the time, you can find the time to chop it up with talking sports weekly. I know you said you wanted to do it again.
Yeah, 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 definitely. Yeah, I do. Just like you said, time
Yeah.
the time that you put into it, the prep work and stuff of that nature. But if it does happen, obviously it'll be here. It'll be on the BS3 network. So
Yep.
stay tuned if it does happen.
Yeah, for sure. And but thanks again. Let everyone know what you got coming up, rest of the year, and things for the network heading into the new year, and everything just with the network and your show and everything. What you got coming up?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So in the near future, coming up on Monday, we're reviewing the Eddie Murphy documentary,
Mm,
which is on Netflix,
I just saw
which
that. I literally just saw
it
that.
seems like it should be a multiple part series because
Mm,
Eddie's just done stuff, for decades. But
yeah.
I think he was the executive producer on it. So we'll be doing that on Monday. Still doing the Dallas hockey games, Dallas Stars hockey. Like you said, doing some of the WNBA, the content that we get access to. I already put in for the Super Bowl, so that's on the horizon. We got a real estate podcast that we're working on. Also, an Arthur's podcast. So she
Mm,
was on the network before doing a different type of show. She's an Arthur, and so she's looking into doing that. So that could be coming on, to the network here by the new year. And so yeah, that's what we got coming down the way.
no doubt. Yeah, and a lot of different things happening too. And shout out to Chris Drummond too. He puts out a lot of
Yeah,
content as well. That's
yeah,
our
he does.
guy.
He
He
does.
you
Yep.
know he
Yep.
he
He's in Rochester now. We
Yeah,
got him
yeah,
some credentials for the minor league hockey
yeah,
team up there. So hopefully he's able to go to a couple of those games.
yeah. I know he's teaching too, substitute teacher, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
he had hit me up. He said, "When you gonna be in New York?" I said, "Well, Christmas time. I mean, he's a couple hours from where I'm from, originally
Okay.
from, but and it's gonna be cold in winter
Yeah, yeah.
during that time."
I don't know how y'all do it. Commuting in that, I mean, like any little drop of snow that we get down here, it's a wrap. The
Mhm.
whole city shut down.
Yeah,
Y'all got
right.
inches. Y'all got
Yeah,
inches.
inches,
Yeah.
almost a foot
Right.
sometimes. And
Right.
but yeah, I know he puts out a lot of content on his page on the network as well. But I'm looking forward to seeing all the content, and always try to contribute as much as I can to with that as well. But yeah, appreciate you, man. And like I said, you can find all the shows and content on the BS3 network, Roku channel, BS3TVLive.com, and all the social media platforms and all the podcast platforms as well. So thanks again, man. Really appreciate it. And I would wish the Cowboys the best of luck, but not tomorrow. but not
No, no.
tomorrow.
You don't have to do that. You don't have to do
No,
that.
no, not
We'll see.
tomorrow. Yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a close game, like we said.
Yeah.
But no. But thanks again, man. Like I said, always a pleasure. Thank you for, like I said, all the opportunity. I really appreciate it. Giving me the platform and just being one of your first
Yep.
ones that come on
Yep.
the network.
Yep.
Back in
Right.
2019, we connected before then, and you started the network, and I was like I said, I was just looking to get back into it, and ever since we've been connected since. I really appreciate the time and the insight and effort and all the things that you've done. So again, thanks for all these opportunities as well.
Yeah, man. No problem. No problem. Have a good night.
All right, you too.
Good luck tomorrow.
Yeah, good luck tomorrow too. Happy Thanksgiving to
All
you
right.
and the family as well.
All right, you too. Take care.
All right, later.